Welcome back. We have a 2002 Chevy Trailblazer with a 4.2 liter engine. And as you can see, we have a P0014. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and check the oil level. And this is not looking good already. I'm just going to go ahead and clean it off and reinsert it, and we'll check the oil one more time. Well, just as I suspected, there's absolutely no oil inside of this engine. So the first step is to add oil, but I'm just going to go ahead and do an oil change. And actually having no oil in the engine would actually cause that P0014 code that we're having. So here's the oil that did come out. You can see it's a very small amount, and at that it looks very glittery. So I'm suspecting some type of engine damage from driving without oil. And on top of that, this vehicle holds about 7 quarts of oil. That looks nowhere near 7 quarts what came out. Okay, so the oil change is all done, and now what I'm going to do is check the camshaft solenoid. It's a very common issue with these vehicles, and there is a screen on it. So what I want to do is go ahead and check that screen for any debris to see if it's clogged, because the oil that did come out the engine was very gunky. So I want to see if the screen on the solenoid is clogged up. First, let's remove the serpentine belt. Using a 3/8 ratchet, you can loosen the tension and slide the belt right off. Then you got to remove the 3 bolts that hold on the power steering pump, which you could access through the pulley right here. And now you could just kind of pull the power steering pump out of the way, and it'll give you that little bit of clearance that you need to pull the solenoid out. And yeah, that's not looking so good. So I guess this explains why we saw all that shimmery, glittery stuff in the oil. Apparently there's some sort of internal damage going on here from driving the vehicle with no oil. And you could see all of the metal shavings caught in the filter of the solenoid. Now another issue that could cause this code is if the solenoid just doesn't work. So what you could do is you could do an ohm test on it, and you see we're getting about 8.6 ohms, something like that. And I went ahead and ohmed out the new part, and it checks out exactly the same. So that's what you should be looking for if you were testing yours to see if it still works. I'm just replacing this one because it's completely clogged with metal shavings. And here goes the new solenoid. As you can see, I guess they have a different design where they have like these springs, I guess, to hold the filters in place. And I'm just showing here what the dipstick looks like with a fresh oil change. You can see the reflection of the light. You can tell it's completely full now. It's not empty like it was before. And of course everything is put back together now. The belt's back on. And here I'm just using my scanner to command the solenoid to turn on. And I just want to make sure everything's working properly as it should. At this point, the damage is done to the engine with all the metal shavings and things. They're gonna keep driving the car, I know they are, and the only thing I could recommend is that they bring it back again very shortly for another oil change. Hopefully the oil filter catches most of the metal shavings, and we could just filter out as much as we can. So my curiosity got the better of me, and I wanted to see how much oil actually came out the engine. So the quart that's on the right is completely filled already, and we're trying to see how much we could get into the second quart, and it looks like we're only going to get half a quart. So I have no idea how long they were driving this truck around on a quart and a half of oil. One thing I did notice is when I was filling it up with fresh oil, even at 5 quarts, it still didn't even begin to read on the dipstick that there was even oil in the engine. So with 1.5 quart inside the engine, I'm pretty sure none of it was even reaching the oil pump. So it's just crazy. It's just trying to just think of it. So here I am just driving the truck around, cleared the codes, everything seems to be fine. It's been a few days, code has not come back, and that's pretty much it. So if the video helped you, give it a thumbs up, and like always, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.